Good morning, wonderful people. You're welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite morning show, Lagos this morning. Today being the 17th of May 2023. We saw a little bit of controversies and also interesting stories yesterday from Hilda Bassi breaking the record, and also Seun Kuti's issue. He was actually remanded in Panti yesterday, being paraded with other suspects as well. And they were outraged and also, responses from people online. Before we go into the major stories, beautiful stories we have for you, interesting discussions this morning, I am Olajide Taufik Olamide, and as always, I have my ever pretty co-hosts.
Yes, I'm pretty, I know. Good morning, viewer. You're welcome to another exciting edition of the program, Lagos this morning. Like I always say, hope you had a wonderful night rest and happy midweek to all of our viewers. I am Gladys Aloze. Welcome to the show.
All right, guys, you're welcome. Let's take a look at the top stories we have for you today quickly. Beautiful and interesting top story today. FG incurs 36.8 trillion naira deficit in 8 years under President Muhammadu Buhari. Interesting.
Court grants Seun Kuti bail, gives police 48 hours.
Lady remanded in Kirikiri prison for assaulting a police officer.
On the next, we have gunmen kill 38 in Plateau, four U.S. embassy staffs in Anambra State. Wow.
Resident doctors begin warning strikes today, set May 29 as deadline.
Strengthen anti-graft agencies, federal government advises the president-elect, Bola Tinubu.
I think today is a special day for the youth, and we have a World Hypertension Day. Pressure, lifestyle increase, BP among Nigerian youths.
If you have BP, you can go test today, though.
Exactly.
North in self-imposed educational backwardness, says Adamu.
That's the Minister of Education.
Adamu.
Yeah. Let's move straight to the newspaper front pages this morning. We have Nigerian Tribune. All right, let's
okay, on the front page, we have Tinubu to open talks with G6 Yari orders. Dilemma over Barua. APC NWC Akpabio, 40 senators elect, meet senators. Not APC NWC will decide Akpabio's fate. Adamu tells Stability Group. National North Central yet to speak on Nan's zoning. Kwara governor. APC zoning template unfair to North. Negates federal character principle. Yari says. Tinubu meets with Kwankwaso in France.
But I think we used to hear of G5 before the election. Now we are getting G6.
The G6 is from the APC.
Oh, wow. The G5 is from the PDP.
The PDP.
Beautiful.
Now, Labour Party now, we don't know.
Maybe they'll bring in G7.
Interesting times.
Oyebode Kokori Ashaju to Tinubu, how to deliver good leadership and governance. President-elect first agendum should be restructuring. As many escape as gunmen open fire on travelers along Ado-Akure Road.
Naira redesign, grounded bandit activities in the north, coming from Arewa youth.
Gunmen killed 38, set many houses on fire in Plateau State.
Seun Kuti arraigned, granted suspended bail.
Senate approves independent candidacy, forwards bill to Buhari for assent.
NERC to revoke license of Kaduna Disgo over 51 billion energy underpayment.
Wahala. EFCC operative dies during scuffle with colleague over suspects seized items. Which kind of wahala with that one?
Moving on to the next newspaper front page, let's take a look at Daily Sun.
On the front page of Daily Sun, we have senators will decide your fate. APC chairman tells Akpabio. Advises Akwa Ibom former governor not to be late on National Assembly inauguration day. Confirms further consultations.
Then if he comes late, probably they will withdraw.
Exactly.
Okay, Uzodimma Soludo clash on state police. Says we can't afford it now, Imo government. We fund everything, yet we are not in charge. Anambra government. NSA, DSS, IGP gives security advisory to incoming governors.
Well, I think that's a beautiful and interesting story. How can the state be paying how can the state be funding what they are not in charge of?
That's bad.
That's very, very bad. They are not in charge. They are not 100% in charge of the police force, and they are funding the police in their state, and it's not state policing. I think there should be a little bit of restructuring, even reform when it comes to...
They've always called for restructuring and reforming of the police force, but then our governments are not really paying attention to it.
All right, moving on. We have visa restriction. Good news for democracy, Boala says, as Fani Kayode condemns action. On
deputy speakership, Benjamin Kalu faces hurdle as coalition wants slot zone to Ebonyi.
Court remands Seun Kuti, gives 48 hours to police to complete investigation. Musician not charged, yet we only went to court for remand order. Police.
We'd like to move on to the next newspaper front page. Let's look at what the Punch has to say this morning.
National Assembly leadership, APC warns Akpabio Abbas against upset.
Nigeria needs $12 billion to clean up oil spills.
Strengthen anti-graft agencies, federal government advises President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
And on strike, doctors shun talks, medical tourism gulps $3 billion in 3 years. Resident doctors reject Ngige's peace moves, decry health sector's brain drain.
I think this is a kind of, would I say dicey or funny one that I'm about to read now.
Wow.
As Army rewards 58 soldiers with bicycles, cash gifts.
Not motorbike, bicycle. Interesting. Are you sure? Oh, well, let me not say what I'm not sure this morning. Okay, let's move on. Manufacturer threatening shutdown over excise duty hike.
Court remands Seun Kuti, police comb home for exhibit.
In Anambra State, gunmen kill 2 U.S. consulate officials, 2 cops.
Wow.
Oh, that's so sad.
Moving on to the next one, we have this Nigeria. Ban import of goods Nigeria can produce, Mamora urges federal government.
High-profile terrorist regrouping in Northwest. DSS resists the alarm as combined security team arrests 5 suspects in Kaduna Kanu raids.
Support Fubara, Wike urges traditional rulers.
Government abducts FETA staff, 14 others in Abuja.
On rescue Chibok girl, I left 3 children to reunite with my parents.
Tinubu's administration can pay Nigeria's debt with IGR, says Akpabio. Adamu wants ex-Akwa Ibom State governor or others against lateness to NANS on Inauguration Day.
Moving on to the front page of Vanguard this morning, we have on 10th National Assembly, come early, avoid Saraki-like coup. Adamu tells Akpabio, Barau, Jibrin and others.
Buhari baffled by pervasive level of corruption presidency.
Emefiele's Naira redesign curb terrorism, Arewa youth tells Matawali.
Federal government incurs 36.8 trillion naira deficit in 8 years under Buhari, records 32 trillion naira revenue, spends 68 trillion naira.
Because 32 trillion naira revenue and you spend
68
trillion, so you gained minus how much? Minus 36.8
and yet
trillion.
We've been able to tackle most of Nigeria's challenges.
Like we said yesterday, there are successful tackles and unsuccessful tackles.
This is interesting.
However, tackling is tackling.
Yes, you know, you can tackle and be dribbled.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
And also on assault, court orders Seun Kuti's detention.
4 U.S. embassy staff killed in Anambra. Embassy staff came under attack by gunmen in Ogbaru area of Anambra State.
Moving on to the front page of The Guardian, World Hypertension Day, May 17th. Pressure, lifestyle increase, high blood pressure among Nigerian youths.
Okay. Treatment costs 1.22 trillion naira monthly for 76.2 million Nigerians living with ailments.
Moving on May 29, Tinubu's inauguration sacrosanct, says Afenifere as Ohanaeze disowns plan to participate.
Yari kicks Akpabio leads over 40 senators to parley with NWC.
Beware of Matawale, Arewa youth caution Tinubu, Lord CBN's Naira policy.
And court remands Kuti over alleged assault.
Manufacturers flay excise duty increase, calls for suspension.
Resident doctors begin warning strike today, set May 29 deadline for federal government's intervention.
As multiple challenges cripple primary healthcare nationwide.
Let's move on to this day. Interesting headlines today.
Presidency, rising inflation not peculiar to Nigeria, challenge global. IMF, African currencies under pressure, depreciated by 8% since January 2022. Ghana, Sierra Leone currencies suffer over 45% drop.
BBC investigations like Premium Times show Obi not Tinubu won in Rivers State contrary to Wike's loud claims. Results from IREV in Rivers alone may not have altered outcome of presidential poll.
Al Jibrin brokered Tinubu Kwakwanso meeting in France. Ex-Kano governor may join government of national unity as president-elect allegedly proposes reconciling Ganduje and predecessor.
Arewa youth says Naira redesign policy has reduced banditry and terrorism.
As gunmen killed 2 U.S. embassy staffs, 2 security officials in Anambra State. Moving on to the front page of Daily Trust this morning.
National Assembly approves independent candidacy for elections.
Not in self-imposed educational backwardness. That's coming from Adamu.
U.S. embassy staff shot dead in Anambra.
Real reasons Tinubu met with Kwakwanso, ex-Emir Sanusi in Paris, offers NNPP leader ministerial position, urges consultations as former Kano governor converses with ex-CBN governor.
I know that's exactly what will happen at the end of the day. Northwest deserves Senate presidency.
Moving on to the front page of The Point. 10th National Assembly, Akpabio walks tightrope as Northwest remains adamant.
And Adamu warns against repeat of Saraki coup. Akpabio Barua beg aggrieved aspirants. Yari Kicks says APC has derailed.
Wow. Interesting stories. Titan Trust set to delist shares of Union Bank on NGX.
Workers protest alleged illegal appointment of NACETEMDG by minister. That's next team. Sorry.
We'll replace you with ad hoc staff if you embark on strike. FG warns doctors.
Police parade suspected killers of a Boeing monarch.
Wow. And I'm on the sporting scene. Beautiful scenes yesterday in San Siro. Inter Milan clinching their first. Inter Milan getting to the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Today would be the decider, the biggest match actually. But I say one of the biggest matches in Manchester City's history. If they actually defeat Real Madrid today, they might be heading to, but we never can tell. Inter Milan is not a stroll in the park. But let's take a look at the sports stories we have for you this morning. Man City versus Real Madrid. Ake to miss Los Blancos tie. Beautiful.
Okay. Oshimen Lukman in Syria, a team of season.
Wow, what a bad news for the African player here. Bayern to offload Sadio Mane and João Cancelo at the end of the season. And also Arsenal to move for Caicedo and Declan Rice in summer. I actually think Declan Rice is just an overhyped player. He's not really as good as people, hype him. Declan Rice. He's not so good like that. I will always prefer Caicedo any day, anytime. Just like the last game we played against them. He was actually, he's actually a naturally defensive midfielder, but he actually played from the right wing back and he gave us series of problems. He actually defeated us 3-0. So that guy is good. Can buy.
Okay, Chelsea United battle for Orban.
Juventus make Pogba stands after fresh injury setback as Obioma Ogumodede wins LBA monthly award.
Yankees laughed last as Balogun dumps Nigeria for U.S. men's national team.
Wow, player, why are they dumping Nigeria for other teams? Is it that they don't like Nigeria? We are not attractive.
The last time I checked, you were amongst those shouting Jakba.
No, I'm not among. Okay. We have to be in this country and, you know, do things right.
It's all right.
All right, that's all we have for you on the newspaper front pages. Before we get into the top stories and the discussions for you today, we'll be going on a short break. But when we are back, we'll be opening the phone lines for you to drop your comments and also your opinions and contributions on the headlines we have for this morning. And also our in-house analyst will be joining as well. Stay tuned. This is Lagos This Morning. Don't go nowhere.
We'll be right back for you.
Yeah.
100 Nereko. Estambaseko.
All right, guys, welcome back to the program
Lagos This Morning.
If you're watching us this morning, you can click on the like button. You can also subscribe if you have not done that, and you can also drop your comment on
the comment section.
The comment section as well. Let's take a look at our feedbacks.
Nigeria Future. Thank you so much for being part of the program this morning. He says, good morning all. Good morning, my love. Good morning to you too. Thank you for sending the link. Yeah, thank you too. Gladys Chisom says, good morning, my people. Majed, you're welcome. I can see you clapping and the love emoji there. Is ICPC EFCC made only to go after poor Nigerians? That's a question coming from Nigeria Future. Godwin Nwezama says, good morning. Majed, rice no be over high. As an Arsenal fan, you know see Arsenal
no be say Arsenal no fit pay. No be say we no get the money. You see, well, to me personally, I don't really see Declan Rice as, you know, as the one we actually need right now. I think we need the kind of someone like Caicedo is a very good defensive midfielder for us, and we just need a little bit of more experienced players when it comes to age-wise and trophy-wise. More experienced, probably a Champions League type of player, not Declan Rice per se. We have players that are in this caliber already. We need people who would actually, you know, be giving our players what they don't have. If it's just experience or advice or something else. That's just what I'm trying to say. Nobody say we no get the money. How much be Declan Rice? We will not buy. Arsenal, really.
Is that right? Okay, moving on to the comments that we have here. Okay, Nigeria Future says Nigerians are so easy to be distracted with new problems and forget about the old ones that are important. Where is Abakari?
Well, I think the issue of Abakari is still there, still trending.
Please, if you're watching this program this morning, we can't do this without your comments on the comment section. Please drop your opinion. Let's get to know what you think about this topic. Tribunal resumes hearing of Obi'S petition today. What do you think should be the outcome? What are your expectations on today's case?
What do you think? What is your opinion, your contribution? What are the stuffs? What are the things you feel like would actually come up? How possible? What's the probability of Peter Obi, getting justice in the court of law, and also Atiku as well, and probability of, where would the case actually lead to?
What's the possibility of this case still not being adjourned still?
Till after the inauguration. There are a series of questions in people's mind to ask. You can drop everything in the comment section. You can also call in as well. There is a number in the comment section you can use and just call in. Let's have your opinion. So let's take a look at the top stories. Federal government incurs 36.8 trillion naira deficit in 8 years under President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yesterday we saw this report whereby the President Muhammadu Buhari, said that he has tackled most of Nigeria's challenges. And now we are seeing this kind of report that 36.8 trillion naira deficit in 8 years the federal government has incurred.
Yeah.
So does that really tell that indeed what we were told is actually what it is?
Well, I think they said they made 32 trillion naira revenue and spent 68 trillion naira, which means 77% of deficit incurred in 4 years. Now,
is that progress?
Well,
did we progress or we retrogressed?
I think if you actually spend more than we have actually earned, then the rest should be on investment, what would actually give us returns over the years, and not what would just be lying fallow somewhere else. Just like I would say something about the train project. I'm not saying it's not okay, it's very, very good, but look at the outcome. If we don't have our security intact, there is no way train can function. Because train can be going just, along the bush path. Then it's not really it's not really about, when a train is going like interstate, you don't actually pass through where there are houses, like open spaces. It's just like through forest and the likes. If we have bandits and kidnappers being stationed in the forest there, and they just damage the rail track, there would be accident and they'll kidnap people. So if our security is not to a very large extent on the positive side, I think all those kind of investments on the long run, it's just like, not something we really need like that right now. If we have our roads intact, 100%, like high quality roads, it will actually be okay. And also other parts, just like the Lagos-Ibadan Express, if there can be another route that can be done entirely to ease traffic on that particular route, it's beautiful, it's okay. I think if they can take another part as well, if you can have 2-3 parts that can lead to the same destination, the same route, 100%, if the road is okay, I think it will be good like that. But all this kind of project, there are some projects whereby you do and you don't calculate the running costs after you've done this project. Okay, let's say you fix a good road now. The road will be there. Probably, you make a quality road that would actually last like 40 to 50 years. It's not as if you are spending money on that road again. But now, train. You spend money to secure the train. There are running costs to maintain the train. There are so many costs that are behind the scene that you keep on, spending. But if you fix the road this once. If you don't use substandard materials, you use quality ones, you are good to go.
What I don't understand is, all these debts and all these monies, where are they being,
what are they
being used for?
Exactly.
You understand? Like, of what, where can we say that this is where this money is being put? You understand? Or what are the things that we've done that we can proudly say that this is what we use the money for? We spend too much in this country, and then we're not even seeing per se what the monies are being used for. Just like the roads you talked about, walking on roads is not bad, but one of the things that make our roads spoil easily or so fast is the heavy trucks.
Okay.
I've said it before now, if we can actually construct another road for these heavy duty trucks, so that they will not be plying the same road that normal vehicles are, because they are too heavy. You understand? Once upon a time like that in the southeast, Imo State to be precise, they made it a law that all these heavy duty trucks, they don't want to see them in the daytime. It's only in the evening at night, from 6, 7, then upwards. Okay. That's the only time they want to see them on the road. I was like, okay, it's actually good, but then you can actually construct another road for them that will lead to wherever they are going. Because if they keep lying the same road, they will keep spoiling and damaging the roads that are being constructed. Because I don't think that we use quality materials to actually work on these roads, you know. Because if quality materials are used, if these heavy duty trucks ply on those roads, it will not spoil the way that's easily or quickly, you know. But then we are spending too much, we are incurring debt, and then we are not even seeing what the monies are used for.
But I will kind of suggest something. How about, you know, you taxing those people using bigger trucks that can actually easily spoil this road? Tax them more than those that are using, you know, just normal vehicle. But just make all our roads to be motorable to a capacity whereby any kind of truck can actually ply that road. Because if you're having that kind of road, even if we spend heavily on that kind of road, it will be there for the next 50 to 60 years. The next government will not be coming back to fix the same road. So even if you as a governor, you just say, okay, I'll be doing majorly like road projects, like basically infrastructure. If you do it in a way whereby it is very, very quality, your successor will not be spending the same money on that project. Even your successor, the next coming government,
the materials that are being used on these roads are not quality materials. Because I remember a certain governor in Imo State, the late Sam Bakwe, you know, most of the roads that man constructed in Imo State today, they are still the most standard roads that Imo State has. Despite the heavy duty trucks and all that, the roads are still standing. Unlike the ones that are even constructed recently, they've all spoiled.
You know, the use of standard materials.
Thank you, that is it. And that's a challenge. And then yet we keep seeing debts that are being incurred, and then the question that remains, what for exactly? Where are the monies being put?
Well, I think to some extent, when people are not being informed, I think major problem between the Nigerian government and the masses is just communication. The communication gap is too wide. Okay, let's say you spent whatever trillions of naira. We need a breakdown. How do you spend this money?
You see people, like sometimes, like you see some people patching road. I'm like, is it cement they're using? I don't know if you said that kind of thing before. You'll be like, how can they use this? Is looking like cement. Can they use something that looks like cement to patch a road and then expect it not to spoil? Oh.
Well. I just believe they need to let us have a breakdown. If it is possible for us to have it. Okay, we spent so amount of money on this road and this one too and that one and that one. If they actually publish this kind of stuff on the newspaper and let people see it, it should, you know, social media now is just like wildfire, is everywhere. It should be on social media. If we have our politicians right there on social media, the president is there, the vice president, even the president-elect, all of them are there. Why don't they bring these kind of things to the social media and let people have an idea of, you know, how their money is being spent? So anyone who just wake up one day and say, President Muhammadu Buhari has, you know, has taken our money away or to somewhere else, they will tell the person, have you checked the, what's it called? Even if it's an handout or a PDF file or something, I think we need to actually see the breakdown. So by the time people start, reacting to this debt, it would actually be that they borrowed money to invest in some kind of good projects. If people actually see it, we can't. There are some people that,
you know, that's one of
it's not even about seeing now.
That's one of the questions.
There's no way I can actually just travel down to maybe Kano or Kaduna or Bayelsa to go and see any project that has been done there. But if we have the pictures, if we have the figures out there, just on social media or on the
newspapers, that's one of the problems that some people will be like, why borrowing this amount of money and then we are not even seeing what the monies are used for? You know, if Nigeria incurs debts and then we are seeing things that are being built, or infrastructural developments, nobody will question too much.
Exactly.
But it's just because we're not even seeing the second Niger bridge, you know, according to what we heard, very soon it will be in use. You know, but the last time I traveled to the east, I just saw how the thing is. I know they are not done with it, but if they leave it that way without putting a bridge like the first bridge, I don't think it will make sense. But if they do it in a way that, okay, people see that, okay, we borrowed this particular amount of money and this is where the money was put or is being put, then nobody will question anybody.
Nobody will question anybody.
But then if we just borrow and then we keep hearing, we keep borrowing, and then there is nothing that we are seeing positively
that we can say. They are giving us information of how much we have borrowed. but there's no information of this is what
we used
the
it
money for.
You know, we were told one time that, okay, we are working on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and for goodness sake, that road has taken a long time to be completed. I understand that it's not easy as well, but then I think it's taking a while. Let's take a look at these comments here, this feedback from Nigeria Future. He said, Nigeria justice system is on trial. Sports Kingdom, don't compare rice to... Ah, good. Okay. Nigeria Road Safety and Minister of Road and Transport are not doing their work. That is another big problem. And I think that's true. It's not that they're not doing their work. They are, but they're not doing it effectively.
I think we need to read this Rice comment. If you're looking for leadership for the player, Rice is far better than Caicedo. Rice has captained West Ham to Europa League, but Caicedo never played Euro football before. Well, let's see how it plays out. Who Arsenal would actually sign. But on the more serious note now, let's get to the other headline. Lady remanded in Kirikiri for assaulting
a police officer.
It has been generating reactions on Twitter.
You know, once a particular thing happens, you will see other things happening.
Exactly.
It will not become a chain. Just okay. And the picture is actually funny. Is that the picture?
Thing is that this is the picture. The most interesting stuff now about the most interesting discussion online now is that Seun Kuti slapped the police officer. He has been released. Yes, he has been released. He got released
on
yesterday. On bail yesterday. If you look at this picture very well, the lady was holding the police officer's uniform. The officer was holding our clothes too. Even up to the point whereby, you know, our cleavages were almost out there. Like something else was coming out already. So right now, is it the lady assaulting the officer or they were assaulting each other?
Or the officer assaulting the lady.
Or the officer assaulting the lady. And some people were like, there's no way you would just be walking on the road and just go and assault a police officer. Something would have led to the assault.
Let me quote Bible. The book of Ephesians, Bible said, parents, provoke not your children to anger.
Exactly.
And he also said, masters, do the same. Don't provoke. See, this is very simple. You know, I understand that a lot of people have issues out there. A lot of people are just walking trouble. But then, I don't think that a reasonable citizen or someone who in his or her right senses will walk up to a police officer and then hook him or even slap him.
Exactly.
Something must have triggered it. You know, a lot of people have their problems. You know, I have things bothering me. Or if you trigger it, then that's where the problem starts.
Yes.
You know, but then our police personnel, our uniform men, our security officers, they are meant to protect protect us, the citizens. But then what we are seeing these days is just the opposite of the whole thing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's the opposite of the whole thing. Okay, Seun Kuti's case now, even before the Seun Kuti, we saw what happened to Portable. You know, the police, they came to his house.
Yes,
people
exactly.
that was not even looking like they were policemen because they were not uniform.
Kellogg's store.
You can imagine that. And then this young man got angry. Where is your ID card? He had to react because of how the whole thing was coming. Then he was arrested, he was remanded, and then he was charged to court. Eventually, he came out. And now this Seun Kuti own case now have come up now, though he has been released on bail and all that. And now this lady, we also saw the video yesterday that happened in Ibadan.
Yes.
Where a road safety personnel was beating up a young man. So like the question now is, who is to be blamed? The citizens or our security men?
I think first and foremost, the lady wouldn't have actually reacted like that. I think they say action begets reaction. And there are some people, see, you can't always tell people how, you can't always dictate how people will react. There are some people who have PTSD when it comes to, you know, police issues. Probably they've had experience with a police officer before, a negative experience to be precise. There are some people whereby they've been, would I say, extorted before. Anytime they see a police van or a police uniform, they'll get angry. There's no two-way thing about it.
And then secondly, when you use vulgar words on people.
Exactly.
I know some of these people, they don't know how to, like the way they talk to you alone can provoke you. And it seemed to me like some of them, they do this on purpose just to know how you're going to react. That's what I feel.
You know, personally, I was once in the kind of issue like that. And then most of the time now, I just kind of just let me just forget about the whole thing. It has happened, though it's been a while that it happened. Against all these police officers, it was the case of harassment, extortion, stuff. So someone like me now, you don't expect a police officer to talk to me anyhow now, and I will feel happy about it because the past experience I've had with them would kick back immediately, like the PTSD would come back. So this kind of lady now is even the
and she's
police
quite young.
The police PRO
She's
posted. They
quite
said somewhere in Ogombo yesterday she assaulted a police officer. She was arraigned today and she has been remanded in the Kirikiri Correctional Center. Kirikiri Correctional Center. She has been remanded till June 6 when the case come up again in court. So she will be there from May 17 till June 6th.
That's a long
and
time.
And she'll put his case. You see, what's this man's name? Is he this police officer's name, Muyiwa or something thereabout?
Muyiwa Dejobi.
Muyiwa Dejobi. There's a picture. We'll put it up. Someone actually posted the stuff on Twitter. He now said, if you like, go and slap a police officer, you that don't have a name. Which means if you have a name, there are some things you can actually do.
And go scot-free.
Go scot-free with it. See this lady now, because she knows nobody, her father is a nobody. Or probably a family, they are not among the elite. Now they have taken her to Kirikiri prison till June 6. And someone who slapped the police officer is out of. So what are we actually talking about? Are we progressing or we are retrogressing? The same people, we are the set of people that we are saying, okay, let's reform the police force. We shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. Another one has happened now. And this is not, had it been they actually gave us the lady's picture only, we wouldn't have seen this. I'm actually very happy that the police PRO posted this picture. It's not as if it was only the lady locking the police officer's uniform. They were holding each other. Some people feel like, okay, you don't have to hold the police officer because he's on uniform and likes. See, the reason why many people are actually scared of our security personnel is because of the gun.
It's because of the gun.
And now we have laws backing them.
And of course, okay, not everyone, not all the, most of them are not qualified to even handle that gun.
I always say this thing. When a particular law is one-sided, there would always be issues. Now they'll bring out so many parts of the law that states that don't harass the police officer. Now, the police officer here is equally harassing the lady. What part of the law secures the citizens against the police officers if we have been harassed?
There's something that you said once, when you create a law, you make a loophole for yourself.
They would explore the loophole in the law. Okay, they should bring out a part that states that if you have been harassed by a police officer, they have to prosecute the police. They should bring it out. It is there. I've actually forgotten that part.
This whole thing is actually becoming so alarming because, like, okay, the Shehu Kuti stuff happened over the weekend. I think that should be on Saturday. And now, the one we saw in Kwara State happened yesterday. And, right? Yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oyo State.
The Oyo State happened yesterday. Safety. And then this lady same yesterday. See, if these things are not properly treated, it will keep reoccurring.
Exactly.
Once upon a time, Nigerian youth went to the street and started protesting police brutality, but then has it really stopped? I understand that some people, like I said before, have issues. A lot of people are walking around with most challenges, but then when they meet a police officer, it should be like a kind of, how will I put it? You should just know, because all these things happening, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't understand how best to put it. Because from the picture we saw, the girl holding the police officer and the police officer holding, like, what would have led to that? What would have led to that? How did it get to that point whereby the lady had to squeeze a police officer's uniform that way and the police officer squeezing her own
clothes back
that same way, in that manner?
It's just something else. It's something else because now it is being reported by the spokesperson that the lady harassed the police officer. Whereas you uploaded the picture whereby they were both holding each other's clothes. So who is harassing who?
And a part of her breast, everything was just showing.
So who is harassing who? Now he said, had it been they actually cropped out the man's picture, or probably they snapped that picture when the officer was not holding her, anybody would have said, okay, she's guilty, you're holding the police officer. But what did the man do? We have to know what the man did before anything. Let's look at this lady's case that was shot dead on the 25th of December. She's even a lawyer. Are we hearing anything about the case now?
You just say happy trigger police officer.
Happy trigger. Now, there's nobody who will say happy trigger citizen, and there's no way something wouldn't have triggered a reaction. I can't just be walking on the road now and go and slap a police officer. It's not possible. Or just lock a police officer's uniform. It's not possible. Something would have transpired. What transpired? That is what you see, at times when you call yourself a spokesperson, a PRO, at times, I'm also a student of mass communication. There's a way you actually shift some kind of, you bend the information to suit your own agenda. Now, he has actually suited his agenda to nail this lady she assaulted. But the picture is depicting a different stuff. The picture is depicting assault from both sides. So, which means something led to the other thing. Something like from the police angle, something would have transpired. It's not possible for the lady to have just, locked this uniform like that. It's not possible. Nobody can tell me that. Nobody.
All right, our viewers, if you're watching this program this morning, please, there is a phone number in the comment section. Please, we would like you to call in. Let's know what you think about these discussions that we are having this morning. And of course, I can see Mr. David Aham saying, good morning, my people. Good morning to you, Mr. David. Thanks for being a part of this show this morning. If you can call in, please do well to call in. Let's get to know what you think about this lady whom the police says assaulted a police officer in uniform.
Yeah, just like a report I'm seeing right in front of me now. They say rights you should know when you have rights you should know you have when dealing with a police officer. Number one, there is Nigeria police officers have no right to search your phone or gadget
without a search warrant.
When I was actually extorted then in Abeokuta in 2017, they searched my phone at gunpoint. What would I have done? See, at gunpoint, they searched my phone. This
is a right, and I believe they were the ones that published this.
It is there. They published it, but they are not obeying it. But when the citizen just overreact, they start.
That's the one they will hinge.
They start displaying all those stuff. It's just one-sided, and
now,
there's no way they can be justice in society. We say, okay, the judiciary system, they are not up and doing, and the likes. How about our security operatives too?
Now we've been told that as a police officer, you do not have the right to search anybody's gadgets without a search warrant. We know that.
It's just something else. Even writing and giving statements, we were told. It's even in the law that it is optional, that it is by choice.
By choice, not under compulsion.
See, they would dictate to you. They would see. I was dictated to. It's not about someone told me. I was being dictated to. Write that you've been into this thing since 2004. Wow. Write it there. I was being dictated to. There was nothing I could have done. They were with my phone. They actually would check everything in my phone, and they actually drove me down to the. I was not with my ATM card. They drove me home to pick my ATM card. Drove me down to Sterling Bank at Okelewo. Withdraw 60,000 naira on an offense. What I didn't do. So someone like me now, you don't expect me to look at a police officer and be happy about that, because there's no way you will remember what has happened. That is PTSD normally for you. So if a police officer actually just comes to me now and starts saying or who wants to harass me again, you don't expect me to stand there and be looking. You don't expect me to do that. I don't have that kind of experience. Maybe I'll just still be a gentleman. But there are some people out there that have not even every family in Nigeria. There's no way someone who don't know someone who has experienced that kind of brutality or harassment or extortion, either of the three.
I remember when my immediate younger sister slept in police cell for 5 days.
See,
and I was like, what did you do exactly? She said, Jasimio.
Did they actually told my dad about it?
It was funny.
He opened up about his experience too. I was just like,
okay, that my sister's stuff.
No, about my own. It was not like, he has experienced it. I was just like, so now everybody don't reach. So to some extent, I think we should get to the root of this matter. The PR is not giving us what we need to hear. Give us the whole gist. What happened? The lady was going, probably the police officer said, okay, where are you going to? Stuffs, maybe she now fled up. Give us the full gist. Not she harassed. No. The picture is saying different thing entirely.
Well, I kind of want to, because, as we ladies, we face a lot of things every day. Sometimes we just hear, it happens though. You just hear people say some kind of things. That comment there is actually very funny.
Exactly. Mr. Maje said they took me to the station and asked me to write that I'm a Yahoo boy. I collected 50k from me. Wow. See, we are in the same shoes. They said I should write I've been into Yahoo since 2004. How would I be by then?
Since 2004. Wow. Probably you look like one 40 years old man in their eyes.
See, it's just something else. So I don't encourage assault of any kind, but it has to be a two-way thing. When you are bringing these laws out, the PR should also just post the entire law, the handout, let people have it. So by the time officers are saying that you can't assault a police officer, even before he talks or say anything, you bring out the section that states that the police officer should not harass me too. It's in section so and so. You don't check my phone. IGP has said it. This one has said it. I think some people actually, used to resist, they checking the phone, but it's a risk. It is very, very risky because when a police officer is with a gun, he can do and undo. So most of the time, people just feel like, okay, just check the phone, do whatever you want to do, and give it to me back.
Like I wanted to say something earlier. When it comes to we ladies, we face a lot of things every day.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it in this way. Could it be that probably she was working and they called on her? I don't know if because it was looking like it was in the night.
Yes, it was in the night.
Maybe they called on her,
fine girl.
That kind of thing, or maybe she didn't answer. I'm just saying because I wasn't there, because nobody's telling us the full story of what happened. I'm just speculating, They called her and she didn't answer, and then maybe they now called her names that would have probably provoked her to anger.
That's true. There would have been an altercation before the whole issue. Because there's even if someone calls you fine girl, okay, beautiful girl, and you got angry, you can't just walk up to me and lock my clothes. It's not possible. There would have been an altercation. Probably, even fine safe or something like that, stuff. They'll not be like, you had no correct.
Or even all these girls where they follow Yahoo boys.
Something like that. Something like that. Maybe something would have surely transpired.
Something would have triggered it.
Something would have triggered. And she didn't even slap the officer.
She only hooked him.
They hooked each other.
Each other.
So
okay, Nigeria Future said Nigeria police need to be reformed. That's exactly what we are saying. We've been calling on reform the police and all that for how long? As a matter of fact, before anybody will enter into, before you even aspire to be a police personnel, or before you even go to, they should, I feel that they should educate these people thoroughly. Not everybody deserves to be a police officer.
Exactly. Some people actually it's just their pocket that led them into the police force. It's not the passion or anything. See, when you have passion for something, the way you do it is actually different. When you're just like, man, we shall survive now. Let me just, at least the form is outside, let me go and collect it. You would be that police officer, you would be a police officer because of the money. Because of what you can actually get by extorting people, harassing people anyhow. So it depends on the recruitment process, number one. And also, just like someone said earlier, that there's no way you can, the police officers are not being controlled, generally by the governors, but they are funding it. How can I be funding what I'm not in control of? It's not possible. So the idea of having the central body, controlling all the police officers in Nigeria, to me personally, I don't buy into that idea. Because how a police officer in Lagos would treat a Lagosian is different from how a police officer in Kano or Nasarawa or Bayelsa or Cross River State. It is very, very different. What you do in the south that would feel like, okay, it's actually okay, it's pardonable offense. You can't do it in some places in the north. Just like some parts of the north, you can't drink alcohol. They actually arrest you. Well, down south here, party no dey stop now.
If you like,
every Friday is TGIF. You go out there, you can even get drunk. Someone will even assist you and just take you home, and you'll be fine. So those kind of things, I think the police should be controlled by the governors. So if anything happens, you are close to the governor now. Maybe Governor Sanwo-Olu is beside us here. You can easily access the governor than the president, and from here to Abuja, it's too far. There's no way. So how can someone be seated in some, in a particular place, probably Abuja or somewhere, now giving orders to police officers in Nasarawa, in Bayelsa, in Kano? It cannot work that way. It can never work.
The police needs to be reformed. I know that we've been calling on police reform since, but then with the recent things happening, I think the police needs to be reformed. The case between the court case, the tribunal case of Peter Obi and the president-elect and APC is right now ongoing at the Federal High Court in Abuja. And there's this video that has been shared online. A factional national chairman of Labour Party, Mr. Apapa, storms the quiet court to claim legitimacy, asked Abure to vacate his seat, but was faced with stiff opposition by the obedient. Then someone says, may God heal our democracy. May he also bless and prosper Nigeria. Can we see the video?
This is what we call, what I call, I've forgotten what they call these things. 48 laws of power. There's a way you actually, break your enemy. Yeah, it's called mole. There's a way you break your enemy by planting a mole that would actually, either truncate the effort of your enemy or your opposition, or delay or slow down the process of the opposition. So that is exactly what is playing out in the Labour Party now. Because I did being this man, Lamidi Apapa, is like a bona fide member of the party. There's no way he would have been doing everything he's doing. There's no way. So many people have actually come out to say this man, he was being planted in that party to truncate the effort, and that is what is playing out in front of everyone. So it's just very, very understandable. That is what he's been brought into the party to do. So, and he's actually carrying it out. So to some extent, we'll actually see a lot of drama this week. This week, from now till May 29, there will be a lot of drama. And now, like this, for the fact that this issue has started in court, they wouldn't be sitting today. Because you don't expect people to stay in court, and be witnessing all this kind of drama.
Like, see, I said something when we were starting this show. I said, what is the possibility that this case today will not be adjourned? And with what we are seeing, please, can you play the video for us? We need to see that video.
Yeah. Like,
with what is happening already, that's a big reason to actually adjourn the case. Because these are Apapa is a factional chairman. I even heard that he is now the national chairman, not just a factional chairman.
Yes, he's the chairman now, according to the court.
And now, I don't understand, and I don't know if he's working for the party or he's working against the party.
That's why I'm saying that, he's just a mole. He's a mole. Because a mole would actually truncate the efforts of the larger group.
So actually,
there's no way you'd be a bona fide member.
A particular man made a post this morning. He said, Apapa is trying to withdraw Peter Obi's case, but Peter Obi is smarter. How did he even?
He can't withdraw Peter Obi's personal case.
But he can withdraw the case of Labour Party.
Case. And he can't even. I think he's still the acting chairman now.
Okay, we have a caller this morning. That's what we are saying. You can call in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Samuel.
Mr. Samuel.
Yeah. You're welcome, Mr. Samuel. It's been a while.
Yeah, sorry. I can only watch your program on the days I'm not at work when I'm at home.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to the issue of the police. You see, there's always a two-side story. That's why when you go to court, you have the defendant and then you have the prosecutor. You will not only have the defendant in court or only the prosecutor in court. It's always a two-side. So with what has happened, I think there might have been something that might have triggered. I'm not justifying what the lady has done.
Yeah, exactly.
The police officer.
Exactly.
But there's a trigger. So if the lady has been charged and she's been remanded in prison, what the officer did that makes the lady to react that way should also be investigated. Because the officials should not go scot-free. And that is how you have a decent society that protects everyone, both the citizens and the security officer. Because everybody has a right to be protected. That does not mean that right should be abused. So the officers also should be investigated and then prosecuted for any wrongdoing. Because the lady shouldn't be the one to suffer for it alone. The officer also should suffer for whatever crime he might have committed.
Yeah.
And the video of Obi's case in court, I think I saw it a few minutes ago. You see what is happening, in Nigeria, politics is good, but in Nigeria, because we play it in a very dirty way, that is why things like this comes up, in politics in Nigeria. The aim of Lamidi, what they are using Lamidi to do is to make sure that the courts will not use technicality to knock off Peter Obi's case. Because will not say, these people are laying claim to the leadership of the party. Social faction have applied to withdraw the case, and that faction has said no, they should do so. On that ground, I think it's just like a dirty way of trying to truncate the Obi's case. And it's so glaring that a lot of things, and they don't want Nigeria to know in that presidential election is what they are trying to hide. Because when you look at the way the whole thing plays out, according to the INEC result, we should be dragging, and people should be the one they should be focusing on, not to Peter Obi. If they claimed that the election was free and fair, to give took third. So who should be the threat to Bola Ahmed Tinubu mandate? Is Atiku, not Obi. But from the look of things, it means that there are a lot of things that the court might expose. So that is why they are trying to frustrate Obi's petition by making sure that that petition is being knocked off on technical ground. And I'm just hoping that the party organize themselves properly to make sure that this Apapa 15 does not come into truncate, because that is what it's trying to do. What is a situation where the court will be frustrated in handling a big petition according to the way it should be handled. So I'm hoping that the party sits up and try and sort the thing that might have truncate Obi's petition. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. We appreciate.
Yeah, issues, controversies in Labour Party.
Please, can you play the video of what is happening at the court or in the court this morning? Let's get to know. Let's see it.
I want to know who are you. No, don't intervene. No, I want to know who are you. Talk to me. You talk to me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You came to stand a man, a full-blown man up. So that you are supposed to see that. Who are you? Who are you to stand him up? Is the court your house? That is what I want to know. Who are you? Please go. Please go. Look at this idiot. You can't do anything here. Get up from there. You cannot play my role here. This is your role. This is your role. Which of them is your role? I am talking to not you. Talking to who? I am talking to you. You don't have any right to talk to anybody. Talk to me. Who are you? Are you a party official? Don't stand up anybody. Who are you that says something to you?
Alright guys, welcome back. We've seen the video controversies in the court. Lamidi Apapa, trying to, truncate the efforts of the entire Labour Party when it comes to the election petition tribunal.
I think there are still more videos to that. I would like us to just look at the videos, Our viewers this morning, wherever you're watching from, take a look at these videos and please call in. Tell us what you think, because I actually feel that, like what Mr. Samuel said, this man is trying to truncate the effort of the Labour Party. Yeah. But then from the reports we have here, we saw how the obedience family, the P2B supporters, how they stood against that and all. Let's keep playing the video. Let's see what is going on in the court.
It's just like they want to, just like Mr. Samuel said, they want to truncate the efforts of Labour Party on technical ground. So the court might say even the party that is filing petition is not.
They are divided.
They are divided. So this case cannot proceed. So everybody should go home. And Atiku is not really pushing the case like this.
Yeah, there's something he said that actually picked from there. If P2B did not came third, like they said, so why are they making this whole thing? Why are they focusing on P2B? Why not Atiku Abubakar, who actually pulled the second position in the election? They should be focusing on Atiku, not P2B.
Yeah, because Atiku is closer.
The whole attention, the attention they are paying on the P2B's case is actually painting a picture that there is more to this.
Exactly. And I also think to some extent, there's, all these things, a kind of game going on. I actually think Atiku is not really against Tinubu's winning. But if the PDP does not is not in court as well, and other parties are not in court, and it's only Labour Party that is in court, it would be as if it would look like all other parties are, an accomplice in what actually happened, what transpired. All right, do we have the video? Yeah. All right, let's play the video.
Are you a party official? Don't stand up for anybody. What are you saying? Who are you? Excuse me.
They are papa-led faction.
You cannot sit down here when this is the seat for party official.
They want to force themselves.
Who confess? There's no result. Which leadership are you talking about? Chairman. Go to court and resolve the difference. Not here. Go to court and resolve the difference. Not here. Go to court. Not here. Not here. Labour Party office. This is not Labour Party office. Go to court and resolve the This is not Labour Party office. It's not result. The officials are not even Why are you speaking for the party? No, are you a leader of the party? Are you a leader of the party? Take care of it. The court officials are stand up and talk. Who are you? If you don't have seat here, leave this place. No reserve seat for anybody here. It is based on who No, just don't worry. Press ground, press out. There's no seat for anybody.
No seat reservation, please. I made that announcement.
Can somebody
please? If you have any issues,
we are sitting.
Thank you. Please.
We are papa-led group came this morning.
They are ruffians.
The 5 musketeers, the Babalawo that want to take over Labour Party, and his co-travelers are here this morning. But they wanted to take over our seats. They wanted to take over, and he said no.
Issues and issues in the Labour Party, court issues, proceedings, Lamidi Apapa's, Wahala and everything, Well, we've yet to hear anything from Peter Obi right now, but I think in the next, probably before the end of today, Peter would actually, speak or drop something on Twitter for the obedience to actually, talk about. But I think he can actually withdraw only if he's not the chairman. He can only withdraw. He only has the power to withdraw Labour Party's case.
But what I don't understand is that why is Lamidi Apapa making a case?
You see, Lamidi Apapa is a mole in the party. He's a mole. He was being sent to that place.
And also, I pray the Labour Party understands that this man is actually playing
they
against
actually
them
know. They actually know. But right now, they're on the back foot. He's on the front foot. He's now on the driver's seat. So when you're on the driver's seat, they can only try to just, tilt where you're actually driving to. But to some extent, you are still in pole position to either drive well or, send everybody somewhere else. So right now, I think what they can only do is just focus on only Obi'S Petition personally as a presidential aspirant. But as the Labour Party, you might actually, frustrate the whole thing and just truncate their effort. But right now, if they actually leave the party for him, okay, you can take off the petition. But Peter Obi personally, then he can move on with his own personal petition, because there will surely be a petition, by Peter Obi directly. But right from the start, maybe there should have been more of the petition should have come from Obi directly, not the Labour Party. Well, they should have envisaged that.
I think more of the petition are actually from Peter Obi.
Direct, personally.
I think so.
Okay, that would actually be okay. And also, before we call it quit on the program, let's take a look at this report. World Hypertension Day.
Pressure, lifestyle increase, BP among Nigerian
youths. How can someone actually had a report whereby, a 21-year-old boy having high blood pressure?
What's he thinking about? Well, it's possible.
How?
It's possible. Pressure.
What kind of pressure?
These days, with the things that we see on social media, when you're already 18 and you see your mates achieving and acquiring a lot and you are not there, you are still living at the mercy of your parents, to make you to start thinking, is my own different? Well, in this present time that we are in,
Yeah, no, that's the reality. But what they forget to put in the mix is that, see, there is no actually shortcut like that to success. And when it comes to success is not a destination. It's just, a process. It's like a journey. Nobody gets to the apex because there's no apex.
Success is a journey.
It's a journey. It's not a destination. Because once let's say you set a goal for yourself. I want to make 1 million. The day you make that 1 million, that day it gets useless to you. You feel like I can actually make 10 million. Then you keep on moving. Keep on moving.
I don't know if you know this lady, Angela Okore. She's a Nollywood actress. When she appeared on Nedu podcast once, there's something she said. She said, when you are 21, why are you aspiring to drive a car that someone in his 50s worked so hard to acquire? And you are fighting so hard to drive the car at 21.
It's just like a 21-year-old child saying you want to be like Dangote. And Dangote didn't even start today. He didn't start last 10 years or last 20 years or last 30 years of his life.
No, you can actually say you want to be like Dangote, but it will take a process.
Like you want to actually be Dangote, but you don't want to go through the process
that went through.
No, it's just something else. When you have too much, you're envisaging for yourself. You are projecting. When your projection and your reality and the roadmap, the plans you actually take to get to your destination does not align, then you just kill yourself with thinking, how can I be looking at someone like Cristiano Ronaldo now or Lionel Messi driving cars? I will now feel oppressed. Number one, I'm not at their age. I'm not as
that
privileged
consistency
as they are. Even the consistency,
brought them
even
to where
the field that they are as well. The field that there are so many things that actually worked in their favor. There are so many things, just like they say, just like so many reports, so many footballers say that the amount of work that Cristiano Ronaldo puts in training alone, he will be the first to reach the training ground and he will be the last person to leave there. Even after when you guys are sleeping, he will be on the training pitch. So his success today is not like a fluke or like he was just dreaming about the success and he came to being. No, he actually worked for it. How many, even youth of these days, how many of them are learning handwork now? They want something fast. They want everything. And even
the ones that have handwork, they are abandoning it in pursuing something else.
Exactly. And at times, when you go too extreme to get money, you just get crashed along the line. It's just like someone actually saying, okay, you are about 22, 23, but you're seeing your mates driving cars. You don't know who the father of that your mate is for him to operate that kind of car. Davido now is not up to 30 years old. We have so many YouTube that are not up to 30 years old. You can't compare your life with Davido's life. You do know his father? Do you know their family?
And you want to be like Davido overnight.
Exactly. So you need to do what your mates are not doing at all for you to be able to get to that level as at your age, present age, either positive or negative. And if you're doing it on a positive level, it takes time. You can't impregnate nine ladies now and say you want to have a baby in 1 month because you've impregnated 9 people. So they will carry it one month. No. It is on the 9th month that you get it. You can't plant a tree today and say you want to pluck the fruit tomorrow. It's not possible. So I think many youth are just, setting unreasonable and unrealistic goals for themselves. They should know that when you set goals, in between you and your goal is your effort, your persistence, your hard work, your connection. Everything would be in between the two. So we have a caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's Mr. Samuel.
Yes, Mr. Samuel.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just a short contribution to what is being discussed about
the youth.
What I mentioned about youth. You see, the problem some youth have in Nigeria is they want to make it overnight, and it doesn't work that way. Life is a stage, life is a process, and we are in a society in Nigeria where people are being influenced by their fellow youths who have weight that is not being questioned. See, I have some friends, when I was in Nigeria, I have some friends that were into fraud and all that, so I dissociated myself from them because I'm not going to be moved by what they are doing, because I believed in myself. I said to myself, this is what I want in life, I'm going to. Before I left, it took me almost 4 years before I left Nigeria to come to the UK to work. And I followed the process. I told myself one thing, as much as I was doing well in Nigeria, although I wasn't really happy with the state I was, because after I got married, I said to myself, what kind of future do I have for my child and all that. If I was this single, I would have probably still be in Nigeria, because I really like Nigeria. It's just because when I started thinking, okay, the future of my children, how do I want them to move their life in the future? That's why I said, okay, let me move to UK. And it was not just a one-day process. I was applying for jobs, a lot of companies. I was doing interviews on Zoom. Some of them were even saying that I did well, but they can't give me a visa to come to the UK because they don't have license to sponsor. So all these things are processed, they are time, and that is why some of our youth don't want to. They don't want to face that process. All they just want is fast. And it doesn't work like that. Now we have people in Nigeria that are paying agents to get them UK work visa. That is not true. Some of them have been banned for 5 years. Some of them have been banned for 10 years to come to UK because they don't want to follow the process. And that is why you see our youth having this unnecessary high blood pressure, high whatever. As a youth, you don't need all those things. Just be positive, just stay focused, keep trying, and then one day everything will work well. Though we know the system in Nigeria is not favorable, again, when you believe in yourself, one day, your dream is going to come true. You don't have to put yourself under unnecessary pressure, because that is when you now find yourself doing some crime, doing things that you are not supposed to do. So that's my contribution.
All right, thank you,
thank
sir.
You so much.
Can I ask a question, sir? Hey, wow,
Mr. Samuel is already out. You wanted to ask a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question that, like, from the day he actually made up his mind to travel, like, how long did it take him to actually actualize that dream? To actually, for the dream to come
you
true?
heard him say that it took a while. It didn't just happen
overnight. I mean, like, the duration. Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Is it 4 years? Because some youth are always thinking like they want it to be overnight. Let me just sleep today, wake up tomorrow, meet myself in the UK.
Follow the process. Just follow the process. Just follow the process. I always say, follow the process. You see, when you have I wanted to say something before. When you set unrealistic goals for yourself, you put yourself under unnecessary pressure, and then you get crashed, and then depression comes in.
Yes.
And then you start blaming devil. Oh, he called back.
Called back.
Okay. Mr. Samuel?
Yeah, sorry, I think you wanted to ask me a question.
Yeah, exactly. I want to ask you that from the day you actually made up your mind to travel out, like, what was the duration? Like, how long did it take for you to, actually get to that dream, for it to become a reality?
Okay, to be honest, it took me 3 years.
Wow.
Because actually I was planning to go to Canada.
Okay.
It didn't work out, so I told myself that, okay, I studied in the UK before. I had my first degree and my second degree from the UK.
Okay.
And I came to Nigeria, I did my NYSC.
Okay.
I got a job with the union, and then I worked with the union for some years. Then I told myself that, I was happy, with the young, because one thing about me, I don't go for something that I can't afford, so I live that comfortable life. Some people, it might not be comfortable to me, as long as I can feed myself. I don't need to beg anybody for money. I was happy with the kind of life I was living. But immediately I got married in Nigeria, things were still pretty much good. But when my wife was now pregnant, so I said to myself, well, if I have a child now, what kind of life do I want for that child? So I started applying for jobs in UK. And I did more than, I can tell you categorically that I did more than 30 interviews with a lot of companies in UK. Yeah, some of them told me that I was successful, but unfortunately they couldn't sponsor me to come to the UK because they have to have a license before they can do that.
Wow. And
I didn't give up. I kept applying until when I got a job with the company I'm working with today. And that took me almost 14 months before I got that job. In fact, it got to a point I was fed up. I said, I'm not going to apply anymore. Let's just stay in Nigeria. But my wife keep encouraging me that, I should, keep trying. And God be the glory. Immediately my wife got birth in Nigeria. 2 months later, I got the job.
Wow.
I was sponsored. And I spent less than 100 hours to come to the UK because I just had to do my TB test. I had to just pick up my TB test. And then there's there's a certificate that do in Nigeria. It's called police clearance certificate. So those were the two things I just used my money to do in Nigeria. Every other thing the company paid for my visa, application. They even paid for priority service. They even, bought my flight ticket for me to fly from Nigeria. But they told me that the sponsorship was just for only me. So if I want to come to UK with my family, I have to do that myself, which was not bad because at least, I can come to the UK and do everything myself and all that. So after like 1 or 2 months, then I worked for my family to come, and my wife and the baby are in the UK with me here. So all these things are processed. If I was that desperate person, I wouldn't have been that patient enough to see the dream come true. So as we speak today, we're doing fine in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir,
nice.
for sharing.
I believe some people must have learned from this brief story, honestly, because a lot of us are too much in a hurry, to get things done, and then when it doesn't happen that way, we
get disappointed.
We get disappointed, and get depressed as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think with that, we've come to the end of the program this morning. Thank you so much for being part of the show, Lagos This Morning. I believe you had a wonderful time with us. Please also remember that Flip TV got you covered on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, of course, on Twitter.
So we'll also be coming back. Don't go nowhere. We'll be giving you updates on the Presidential Election Tribunal. There is issues right now in the courts with the Labour Party, 2 factions, the Abure faction and also the Lamidi Apapa. Stay tuned, keep watching
Flip TV.
And we would also be coming back with Girls Closet and also Web Watch in the evening. Don't go nowhere, we are here for you, and you're the reason why we keep coming back. You are our motivation as well. Every time we come and we see you online, dropping your comment, hitting the like button, makes us feel good. So thank you all for always joining us. Mr. Samuel,
thank you so much for calling in.
And
we learned a lot from you this
morning. For sharing your experience.
We learned a lot this morning. And of course, with what he shared with us this morning, I can categorically tell someone out there, patience is virtue.
Yeah.
And also a very big thank you to all our viewers. Gladys Chisom, Nigeria Future, David Aham, Sports Kingdom, we saw you on this show. We also saw you, Majed. Thank you so much for contributing on this show this morning. Till we meet you again, I am still Gladys Aloze.
All right, and I'm Olajide Taufik Olamide. Till we come your way on Girls Closet. We'll be coming back very soon on Girls Closet and also Web Watch as well. Be expecting us.
And please don't forget to always tune in to Flip TV. We have other reports dropping bit by bit on our channel.
Yeah, till see you again tomorrow on Lagos This Morning.
Bye for now.
100 naira, Estambaseco.